Lunch is on the way. However, we are going to meet three more former captains of this great football club. Would you welcome to the stage Robert Walls, Stephen Kernahan, stand by, and number 5, Chris Judd. And to grill them in a most emphatic fashion from Nova and everything else, God, he's a busy man. Please welcome Mr. Dave Hughes.
Hey, Sticks, Robert, good to see you. Juddy. Sit down, guys. This is exciting for me, I must say. There's Cooter, Lance, guys, it's all happening here. Sellers, Ron. Honestly, guys, this is like a fantasy for me. I mean, every night I went to bed and thought about people in this room. And that includes after puberty, I can tell you. It's very exciting to be here. Juddy, how you feeling?
Good, thank you.
Good. Wallsy, you good?
Dave?
Sticks?
I'm here, Hughesy.
You are here, mate. Now, I've been doing some... I don't need to research. I know these guys. Let's start with Wallsy. Chronological order, mate. You came to Carlton in... I do need to research. You started in 67, didn't you?
Yes.
And by 1972, you'd won 3 premierships.
Yes.
That is true. First one against Essendon in 68, 70 against Collingwood, 72 against Richmond.
That's right.
And you were like 23. Wow. What was the most pleasing one out of those 3? You've beaten the big 3 clubs in Melbourne.
Oh, I think 70 when we were so far behind, and record crowd, 121,000, still is a record. And to come from that far behind and to get up was just amazing. And against Collingwood, and Ron was the coach and John was the captain, and Serge was part of that as well. And yeah, I think that was the pick of the 3. But look, the first one, 68, we hadn't won a flag for 21 years, and 72 was the big goal scoring spree. So that
also,
was pretty good.
72, you kicked 6 goals and were best on ground. For me, that'd always be my favourite. So you're not a selfish man.
No,
that's brilliant. And mate, and you were captain in 76 and 77, 78. What happened in 1978? You were captain. You started off the season captain, and then what happened?
Well, I had a blue with the coach, and it came to a sudden halt. And as a result, I left, and I went to Fitzroy. So that's
you
what
left
happened.
after you got dropped after the first game in 78. Is that right?
No, I didn't get dropped, but the coach, he wasn't that happy with me, and so I played for 5 or 6 weeks. We didn't speak, and I thought, I don't think he wants me, so I left.
Fair enough.
Good question, Hughes.
Oh, I'm fascinated. And you came back and you won another one in 87, obviously.
Came back to coach. Yeah. And that
won.
was when Mark was captain in 86, and Dom was playing, and Sticks and Braddles and Motts came. So yeah, it was a good time.
Yep. Who was, as a coach, when you were playing, who gave you the biggest spray as a coach?
Oh, absolutely, Ron Barassi. Ron Barassi for sure. I can remember I played for Victoria, and it was my first game playing for the Big V, which was pretty good. Came back the next week, played for Carlton, and at half-time he decided that he'd spend his half-time speech talking about me being a big head and too good to play for the club. And whilst he was doing that, blokes like Jezza and Jonesy, they were having a chuckle because the heat was off them. Ron had always sort of single out an individual to give it to, and it was my turn. And
did that turn your form around that day?
Yes.
Good, yeah. Now,
hey, Hughesy, I've got a question for you.
Yes, what?
You know that twice a year you send me a text message.
I do.
And when he sends me the text message, he says, can you write a column about the Blues and stick it to him?
Well, Juddy...
Is that right?
It is, because we know whenever Wallsy writes a column talking a team up, they lose the next week. So whenever you have a go at a team, they bounce back. That's right, isn't it, Six? That's the truth. Yes. I mean, but I'm always, Juddy, I've never...
You've been outed, Hughesy.
All right, let's move on to you, Sticks. Now, you got to the club in 86, that's right, yeah? You played in the grand final in your first year. In 87, you were captain and you won the premiership. Yeah, that's pretty cool as well, isn't it?
That's about it.
Yeah, no, it's not about it. And you were living with Jimmy Buckley when you got to the club, is that right?
Yeah, I was 2 years. Jesus, I survived. Just.
Do you reckon
Bucksy will be somewhere, rest ahead.
one day should they have underbelly the Carlton years, do you reckon?
I did see the Moran boys through the house on the odd occasion, there's no doubt about that.
You saw the Moran boys.
They were very young when I was living with Bucks, but I did see them now and again. They're very friendly, and I was friendly to them.
If you weren't, you wouldn't be here right now, I'd say. So, mate, you were the leading goal kicker from your very first year at the club, right through until your last year. The last year that you played was like 11 or 12 years later, was the only year that you weren't leading goal kicker.
I was going ordinary then, Hughesy.
Yeah. So the first year that you weren't leading goal kicker, you quit basically, yeah?
I said, that's it, I'm out, I'm done. You know when you're done. I turned 34 the last week I played, and I had a bad Achilles that year, and as we know, the Achilles isn't a good one to get when you're 33, 34, and you know when you're done, and I was done. I was cooked.
It was a big time though. And back to 87, Andy talked about the famous pot on the head. How long did it take to get the beer smell out of your mullet back then, mate?
I'll tell you what, I must have a go. SEN, that song, I mean, it's still alive today because SEN keep drilling it every weekend. They just keep, a lot of people keep driving it in, but it won't go away. No, it's good. I was a bit, the only thing about that song, Hughes, is they keep playing the entirety. A line or two, that should be it. But they go the whole way through and then the beer on the head at the end. I don't usually waste a beer, but I did that day, and people should remember it was 3 days after the game, and that should be sacred for mine. But they're great days. Played with some serious footballers sitting in front of me here, and this bloke coached us was outstanding, and that's what it's all about, playing footy with your mates and winning a flag.
No, they were amazing days, there's no doubt about that. And we got there again in 95. And Wallsy, you were coaching the Brisbane team at that point, weren't you?
Yes.
So you actually coached against the Super Carlton team of 1995 in that first final, and you guys looked like you might even beat the Carlton team.
Yeah.
Did you tell them to back off a bit right there at the end?
No, the Bears gave him a fright until Cooter decided it was time to put his stamp on the game, and his third and fourth quarter was the difference.
Oh, Cooter at his best, it was hard to beat, wasn't it? Oh, man, I've thought about you a lot, Cooter. There's no doubt about that. Got some notes now. Let's get to Juddy, mate. How you going? I mean, is it annoying how good Carlton used to be? Does that actually give you the shits? Because these guys turn up the club and just win premiership straight away, and then you come and you got to work for it, don't you?
It's unfortunate, that part of it. No, that sound like some good times. Plenty of premierships, plenty of piss. Sounds like a few women too. So maybe need the Blue Girls back in Bluebirds back down at the club. Maybe that's what's
you're
missing.
going all right, mate. Don't worry about that. We'll get to that. But so when you've obviously came from West Coast where you won a Brownlow, a Norman Smith medal and a premiership, you held up the cup as premiership captain. Who do you think partied harder? Ben Cousins after the 96 or the 2006 grand final, or Fev after one of the NAB Cup ones? Who was the harder partier, do you think? I'm very interested in the answer.
Do you really have to ask that?
Yeah, no. Well, yes, I do, yes.
Well, I mean, Cuz was world class. He
certainly had the stamina, didn't he? What I love about Cuz is that when he was with Richmond, he was asleep for 2 days and people had a go at him. I thought he was all awake for the 8 years before that, so... Well, actually, I want to go back, Sticks, to the 93 grand final. We got beaten by Essendon, yeah. James Hird was playing for Essendon then. Should we revisit that game, or...?
It's very topical. I'm happy to look at it, Hughes.
I mean, you've got to appreciate how they look after their own, though. They're very much behind James Hird, aren't they? Yes, it's stand by Hird. And we can all appreciate this Carlton men. We look after our own. But with James Hird, I reckon you could find they could find 50 bodies in the basement of his house, and the supporters will go, no, he's okay. Just sack the receptionist from Windy Hill, No, I know we can't touch that. Yes, no. But if they do get kicked out, we might play finals. No, I'm going to move on. No, let's move. All right, yes, all right. Good on you, Juddy. I appreciate your silence. Now, let's get to you, Juddy, at Carlton, mate. You've had a great career at Carlton. With 3, 4 best and fairest at Carlton.
3.
3, all right. I mean, who's counting? You won the Brownlow medal. That was a great night.
Yep, that was a good night. You were there?
I was there. I was hanging out with you. And you're expecting another baby. We've got Oscar already, and we're another baby for the Judds, everyone. Do we know it's a boy or a girl yet? Do we know?
No, we won't find out with this
We
one.
won't find out. A bit of a surprise, yeah.
We'll find out eventually, but not till it's out.
But obviously your children could be father sons for West Coast or Carlton. Have you actually put on the record who they will be father sons for? Have you actually put that on the record, Juddy?
I think we put that down on the record, but they'll be following the Blues.
That is good news. That is good news. That's amazing. And your beautiful wife is doing the weather for Channel 9. You're watching it every night, are you? Yeah?
Watching it, giving her plenty of feedback.
Yeah. Well, what's the forecast today, mate? Did you watch last night? What's going on?
She has changed a few things. She was doing a 2-fingered point early doors, which she got told off on. It was
the Eddie Betts one, was it?
It's deemed to be a bit suggestive. So, no, she's doing a very good job.
And can we just celebrate how can we celebrate the wags of the Carlton Football Club? I mean, Sean Hampson's got Megan Gale. I mean, it's good news. You know, look, my wife once actually had a photo of Megan Gale leaving a beach in a bikini, and she put it up on the wall, and I said, "What's that?" She said, "It's my inspiration photo." I said, "Well, give it here. It can inspire me too." And Jeremy Laidler, a good Carlton man, is going out with Miss World Australia from a couple of years ago. God, even the Northern Blues are scoring well. Is there pressure on the Blues down there all right, let's just move on from that. So, Juddy, let's go with this year. Wallsy, what do you think about the Blues this year? I mean, you can sort of, let's keep it positive, but what do we have to do?
Well, I'd like to see Casbolt played. I think he's got a good future. I think probably got to make up their mind on the 3 little blokes, whether they stay. I think they can. Robbie Warnock, is he going to stay or go? If he's going to stay, it'd be nice to see him played. I think Henderson's development over the years has been terrific. Really think that he's done well.
And we got Kane Lucas with that trade with Fev as well, who was probably in the room earlier thinking, hey, I was part of that deal. I remember you, Kane. There's a lot of good there, though, isn't there?
I think that there's some good signs. It'd be nice if they could make the finals, because that was, they'd played finals in 3 of the past 4 years, and I thought there were some encouraging signs. Look, their best is good.
Absolutely.
But they're close games. You'd like to see them get over the line in a few, and that makes the big difference.
Absolutely. And Sticks, your future, mate. Who would love to see Sticks stay as president of the Carlton Football Club?
Thanks, Hughesy.
Sticks, well, Juddy's already signed his kids over to us. What about you, mate? Let's put it on.
He gets a little bit more than me for doing my role. Juddy gets a bit more, doesn't he, Juddy? I think. No, look, we'll see at the end of the year. It's a non-gracious job, and you do it because you love the place, and we're some really good people. There's a lot of people that can do the role I do, and we'll see at the end of the year how we all feel about it. And I'm really looking forward to the next month of footy, Hughes. I really am, because I just think we just haven't quite got over the line a few games. We're not far away, and I really look forward to playing the Bulldogs this week, which will be a serious game. I've watched them closely the last month, as everyone would have, and they're going really well, and we need to win those sorts of games. And then I think we owe Richmond Essendon, because we should have got over the line against both those sides previously. And if you had got over those lines, we'd be sitting a bit further up the ladder. So I really look forward to seeing how our blokes go the last month, because I reckon they're not far away from it. Just got to nail it for 4 quarters, and we'll get the job done. And if we can get there, anything can happen. I know our blokes, we've been there before and performed well in September on a number of occasions. So I look forward to that.
We all look forward to it. And Juddy, we're fired up for this last month, aren't we?
Fired up, ready to go.
We are ready to go. And guys, can you give it up for 3 legends of the Carlton Football Club?
Thank you, Stephen Kernahan, Robert Walls, and Chris Judd. And please thank Dave Hughes as well. Well done, mate. Terrific.